So did you know that you can catch The Big Bang Theory right here on Fox, Monday through Friday at 6 and 10? Well, speaking of that amazing hit show, we'd like to welcome the author of the New York Times best-selling book, The Big Bang Theory, the definitive inside story of the epic hit series, and senior West Coast editor at Glamour, Jessica Dradloff. So good to see you!
It's so good to see you guys, too. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
We were so excited to get your email. You made our mornings. We were so excited about The Big Bang Theory coming, and you emailed. So can you tell us about the original hardback version and now the paperback version is coming out in October?
Yes. So the oral history, which basically I reunited the entire cast and the producers and the writers, and even Jim Parsons' mother is in the book, to celebrate the 15th anniversary, which was last fall. So the hardcover came out last fall, and then the paperback is coming out this October, October 10th, and it has almost 50 never before seen photos that are now in the book as well. And I owe a lot of that to Kaylee Cuoco, who played Penny on the show, because she gave me her Polaroids. She took Polaroids for 12 seasons on the show and had them in like a bunch of binders and had me come over to her house, gave me all of these photos, said, do what you want with them. And I was so lucky I got to put so many photos in the hardcover. And then for the paperback, I got to add even more, which a lot of people have never seen these before. So that was really cool.
I always love a book with pictures. It just, I don't know, it kind of adds that like child memory to it. But I wanted to say, you are a journalist. And in the book you say, you know, I didn't set out to be a scientist, just for full transparency, but you said the show spoke to you. And so what exactly about it, or what certain things about the show spoke to you as a journalist?
Yeah. So, you know, what's so interesting is, well, I grew up in St. Louis. So Missouri is my home, and it always will be and everything. But growing up, I had a really tough time, especially in high school, because I had 3 learning disabilities, which I wasn't diagnosed with until I was a junior in high school. I'm dyslexic. I have dyscalculia, listening comprehension. And all those things just made it really hard for me to relate to my peers. It had nothing to do with intelligence. I was very smart, but when it came to just, you know, talking to kids your own age, I didn't know how to have those conversations. I could carry on a conversation with my parents' friends super easy, but with kids, it was a whole other ballgame. And I really understood a lot of what these guys and the women on Big Bang went through, which was not really feeling like you belong to a certain group and you need to find your community. And that's really what this show is about. And it's celebrating people who may not fit into certain stereotypes or social norms. And really, I think there's something for everybody in the show. And that's what drew me to it.
So Jessica, tell us, let's get to the cast, because people love this show. The cast is iconic. Tell us about your interactions with them, like when you got to meet with them. Are they nice in person? Are they all really friends? Did they have some stories that really stood out to you that were like, wow, that's a really great story behind the scenes?
Yeah, I have gotten to know these guys for almost 2 decades now. And you want to hear a really funny story, was that when I first came to Los Angeles and my best friend and I were looking for a place to go for the Jewish holidays, I went to UCLA for the first year, and all of a sudden Mayim Bialik was the cantor. And I turned to my best friend and I was like, Blossom is the cantor here? Is this what it's like? Is this how Hollywood is? Celebrities to come and be like the rabbi or the cantor. And it was because she actually did study to do that. But that was my first interaction with Mayim Bialik. And then I really got to know the cast when they were nominated for Emmys and SAG Awards in the very early years of Big Bang. And they are all so different, but so much fun. And that's what's amazing, is when you have so many different personalities, like that could have been a recipe for disaster, but they all truly loved and respected each other. They would always say they were so annoyed with Kaylee Cuoco because she never needed to really memorize a script. Like it was through osmosis. She would just look at it once and be like, okay, I'm ready to go. Jim Parsons, Simon Helberg, they would always need all that extra time to go through it and to learn things. But they were such a tight-knit group. I mean, they talk about how close they are in the book. They also talk about the really hard times, which I give them a lot of credit for, because I think it actually makes them stronger when they talk about their differences and things that they went through that weren't the easiest of times, like the contract negotiations or ending the show. So it's really fascinating. I think it's also a great it's a great lesson to how these shows, you can't be together for 12 years and have everything, rainbows and sunshine all the time. So they really went there, which I appreciated so much, because you can't do a book like this unless you're going to be honest.
Yeah, that's so true.
And 12 seasons, a countless number of episodes. Do you have a very favorite one?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's the opening night excitation, which was season 9. And it's when Shamey, as they're called, Sheldon and Amy, they had coitus, as they call it, for the very first time. And Bob Newhart guest starred. And it also was juxtaposed with the guys going to see Star Wars, because that had just opened in theaters. So the guys were having their own experience. And then you had Sheldon and Amy who were having their own experience. And it just, it's such a classic episode, but there's so many, there was 279 episodes in this show, so there's so many.
I also just want to get to the creator, because he's iconic in television, Chuck Lorre. The shows that he has been a part of are iconic. I love them all. What was it like interviewing him and working with him? What is his brain like?
Chuck is a genius. I owe so much to Chuck. I joke that either my kids or a future pet will have to be named Chuck or Charlie or something. He really gave me the gift of a lifetime with this book. I got to know him years and years ago when Big Bang was first launching, and 2.5 Men was still on the air, and, Mike and Molly and all those things. And he always was so good to me. He respects people that are fair, that are loyal, that will be honest with him. And I'll never forget when we went to him about this book. If he had said no, then that was it. I wasn't going to write this book. And I give him so much credit, because he was an open book. He did over 10 hours of interviews with me. And a lot of the cast was like, I haven't even talked to Chuck for over, an hour at a time. Because the man is also so busy, but he was so generous with his time, and he really opened up about the hard times, the great times, the times he doesn't remember. But that was the funny part, when I would take stories and I would say, like, so Jim Parsons told me this story. What do you think about it? And he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And something would jog his memory, or like when he found out that Kaylee and Johnny Galecki were dating in real life, what that was like for him, because he was scared to death. He didn't have the best experiences on shows like 2.5 Men and Sybil and Roseanne. So he was very worried when 2 of his lead stars were dating in real life. And just hearing Chuck's unfiltered memories of these things was just, I'll be forever grateful for it.
Awesome. We have one fan question.
Yes. Karen Schubach wants to know, are the characters based on real people?
That is a great question, Karen. And yes, some of them are. Bill Prady, who co-created the show with Chuck Lorre, will tell you that some of the characters are absolutely based on people that he worked with during his days as a computer programmer and at Radio Shack. And you wouldn't believe it, because to come across somebody like a Sheldon in real life, or a Wolowitz, you don't think, but there are many people like that. And there is actually a guy named Howard Wolowitz. And that's the character that Simon Helberg plays. And he's nothing like what Howard was on the show, but a lot of these people are based on real life people. And even Mayim Bialik talks in the book too, how she based Amy off of a couple different people that she met. So yeah, it's really interesting to hear the background of how these characters truly came to be, and now they're just part of our everyday lives.
I love it.
Love it.
Okay, so one more time, the paperback version comes out, and how can people get it?
It comes out October 10th, so next month, less than a month away. You can order it on Amazon, you can order it on Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target. So yeah, wherever books are sold, your local bookstore, and of course online, it's available for pre-order now. And you can go to thebigbangtheorybook.com to find out all the places.
Oh, thank you.
Jessica, thank you. It was so awesome talking to you. You're so passionate about it.
Would you please come back on the show? We'd love to talk to you more.
I would love to. I have not been over to your part of town in so long, so we used to vacation like at the Grand Glaze Inn. I don't even think that's around anymore. Ozarks, so I do. I want to come back. I love Missouri, and thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much. We wish you all the best, my friend.
You too. Have a good morning.
Yes, you too. Bye-bye. Oh my gosh. Okay, that was so awesome.
That was fun.
More fun on Ozarks Fox AM after this. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, she's amazing.
I know. But I'm serious about